So just wanted to talk about a couple key things, talking points, whatever, anything anybody is wondering, or just about my experience so far on this prep and how everything's been going pretty much. So I have a couple key talking points while I get my first half gallon of water in and double fist some coffee. So I guess the first thing is I started kind of prepping for this show in right around like September 1st. I moved to Washington in July, and at that point I had been out of the gym for probably a month or like 6 weeks. Maybe had gone to the gym like 3 or 4 times, gained maybe 10 or 12 pounds of just like fat. So I was like super out of shape upon moving here, and I knew I was like ready to get that fat off and get back into the gym because I just had taken so much time off. So first time I weighed myself when I got here, I was 214, but I knew I was holding like a ton of water just from not drinking enough water and eating out every meal for like 3 weeks pretty much. So my actual weight, like 3 days later, after I like got my gallon of water in and got on like back on my food, my macros, I was like 208. So I went from like 208 to 200 through the month of August. And at that point, I was like, I think I'm going to compete. I've been wanting to compete. So I looked for local shows coming up like in the springtime. So I looked like 7, 8 months out, and I found the show I'm going to do, which is the INBF, WNBF, Washington State Natural Puget Sound, which is a natural bodybuilding organization that every show you get a polygraph test for. You can get random urine tests, and if you win your class and your overall, you get a urine test. So you're on the same playing field with everybody. You don't have to worry about if people are using drugs and possibly not cheating the system, because certain organizations you're allowed to take drugs. But for me, I want to have like a fair playing field. I want to know that who I'm going against had the same exact, like stuff that I did, like there's no extra shortcuts. It's just hard work, genetics, time. So I wanted to go against a fair lineup. So that's why I'm choosing to do only natural and tested shows. So I hired a coach, shout out Patty Lifts, who I had been following him for a while, and he's a current WNBF pro, a men's physique pro in the organization that I'm competing in, and he's a judge. And I figured, if I'm doing this class, men's physique, and he's a pro in it and a judge, and I've been following him for like 2 years, and I always liked his content, and he has a crazy physique, and he knows what he's doing. So hired him to take me on, and we started around 200 pounds, and we got, I think, down to like 187 in like late October, early November, and my energy was getting pretty low because I think the lowest my macros got was like 205 carb, 201 protein, and maybe 55, 56, 7 grams of fat, something like that. So from that point, he was like, all right, let's start bumping your food back up. So every week since then until last week, my food had been going up for almost like 2 months, and my weight was continuing to drop, which was great because I was getting my metabolism back up, food was increasing, and weight was still going down, strength was still going up. So the highest my macros got was 280 carbs, 66 fat, and 229 protein. And I hit 78 pounds up to those macros. So, and that was like from where I started, it was like about 30 pounds lost at that point. So, yeah, I mean, that set me up for success. One, because I'm only like a handful of pounds away probably from my stage weight, and we're still 11 weeks out. So it really has set me up and put me in a good place leading into these last weeks until the show. So overall, I'm feeling really good still, no crazy hunger. As long as you're smart with your meals and your macros, how you time them. I always like to have like not huge, but a pretty good sized meal before bed, just so I'm not hungry before bed. I can't sleep hungry. And space my food, make smart food choices, and still enjoy the food that I like. And that's why macro tracking is great, because you can pick foods you like. If you have cravings, you can work them in. I've had no like super cravings or like feel like I've been crazy dieting at all. And, I'm pretty lean. Like I could maintain this body fat, but as we push it lower and get to like shredded status, it's gonna probably get a lot more difficult. And as these videos progress, we'll see that happening, I would imagine. So yeah, that's the status of the prep. He wants to have me ready, show ready, like how I look, stage weight, probably 3 weeks out from the show. So like another 7 or 8 weeks. And then we're going to do a mock peak week basically to see how my body's going to react when we actually do the peak week for the show. Because basically you'll set yourself up the week before the show to deplete your body or get your body ready for show day. You know, there's certain protocols, whether it's water, sodium, the amount of carbs you intake, and then maybe like the day before the show, you're going to eat like a couple 100 grams of carbs, and the day of the show, just to really fill out your muscles once you're already lean, and you'll have the best look on stage. But you can mess that process up if you overdo it or underdo it. So we're going to do a run through like 2 or 3 weeks before the show to see how my body reacts, and then we have 2 or 3 weeks to correct any damage we did or didn't do. And then we have a good idea going into the show what our plan is going to be for the peak week and the day before, day of the show, with like food and manipulation of stuff like that. So, I mean, I get a lot of questions all the time. People asking me, you know, what's macro tracking, how to diet, how to lose belly fat, how to, all this stuff. But the most important thing is like for losing weight, one is your calorie deficit. You have to enjoy the diet you're doing. And I don't even like to say a diet because this is really just like a lifestyle. You have to be able to maintain it forever, or else you're gonna do some sort of diet, and then in 2 or 3 months when you lose the weight, you're gonna go back to how you were eating, and you're gonna gain the weight back slowly or quickly, most likely. So with like how I'm dieting, how I'm eating, it's the same. It has been for 5 years. It's just I eat more food or less food based on my goals. I eat the same types of food pretty much, but it just changes up and down based if I'm trying to lose weight or gain weight, and it's a lifestyle that's maintainable, this eating style for me. The most important thing with like doing this or any sort of diet is being like consistent and tracking all your food. Like get an app, MyFitnessPal, whatever, if you want to write it down, and be consistent. Food scale, I have 2 food scales. I weigh 95, 99% of everything. I'm really good at eyeing stuff now as well. Like I can pretty much get like a serving of this, serving of that, ketchup, ranch, whatever, down to the gram. Like I'll test myself. It's weird, but like I'll squirt it out and then weigh it and be like, yep, I got it, like first try. So you can get really good at eyeing stuff, and that's good when you're out eating and at a restaurant or whatever with friends, and you just like are trying to guesstimate calories and meals, like getting good at guessing what the calories you think they are. So weighing food, tracking everything. You know, if you're not doing that, you have no idea what is happening with your body and why, and how much weight you're losing, and where your calories should be, and your maintenance, and how big your deficit should be. So you keep variables consistent. You keep your calories consistent for a week, 2 weeks, like slow on the cardio, 2 or 3 days of cardio. Watch the scale. If the scale's moving like a pound to 2 pounds, like keep everything how it is until that weight loss plateaus, and then drop your carbs like 10, your fats 1 or 2. Watch the scale for a week, see what happens. Keep losing weight, keep going, and then hit a plateau. Add another day of cardio in. So now you're only doing 3 days of cardio. Go another 2 weeks, still losing weight. Okay, drop your carbs 5, 10 more, put 5 minutes of cardio onto your 3 days. You know, it's just slow changes to those variables to make consistent progress while tracking your food, weighing it. And that's the most important thing. Like people are amazed how easy it is and how like well you can actually eat if you just follow like tracking your food, being consistent. You know, don't track for 5 days, and on the weekends don't track, because every calorie, you know, all the fat you burn or the deficit you were in, you can completely ruin by overeating 1,000 calories 2 days in a row. And then the extra, the 200 or 300 calorie deficit you had for 5 days, which is helping you lose fat, is now balanced back out, and you're at maintenance for the week. So track, you know, you have to track your food. You have to weigh your food. I mean, if you want to be successful and do it a smart and proper way, you need to do it slow and methodically. Like don't expect to lose 10, 12, 15 pounds in a month. You know, you can make really good progress in 3 months if you start, you know, start a little bit early and don't rush. Like take your time, be methodical, track, plan, watch the scale, you know, aim for 1% of your body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, aim for 2 pounds a week. You know, there's a lot of things out there saying that that helps prevent like muscle loss as you're dieting, but also like don't change your workouts when you're dieting. Keep your strength up as high as you can. Don't do high reps because you're trying to lose weight. Keep pushing the weights, keep trying to hit PRs in the gym, all that stuff, and that helps preserve your muscle. I mean, the more muscle you have when you cut, the better you're gonna look when you cut down. So it's that type of thing. And like at the end of the day, nobody can force you to do it. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be disciplined. You have to be dedicated. You know, nobody's holding a gun to your head saying you have to do this, but how bad do you want it? Like how bad do you want to get in shape? How bad do you want to lose weight? You know, you have to want to do it and be almost like for me, like obsessed, like this is my goal. I'm going to do what it takes to get to this goal. And I mean, you don't have to be that way about it. I mean, you can still be like live a chill lifestyle and track your food and still have fun and stuff, but it just depends on the goal you're trying to reach and is it achievable and what you're willing to do to get to that goal. So, I mean, a lot of people, I think, especially when it comes to contest prep, this is my first one, so I'm not like sitting here speaking like I'm an expert or something, but a lot of people will start way too late and they're like, oh, 16 weeks, like I have 16 weeks for this show, and they have 30 or 40 pounds to lose. While you can totally lose 30 or 40 pounds for a show, you're probably not going to look as good as if you took double the amount of time or took 25, 26 weeks to lose that weight, because you're going to have to lose the weight so fast. You're going to lose strength and you're probably going to lose muscle. And a lot of times people never actually get to the leanness and the conditioning they should when they get to the stage. Like, I mean, this is my first time doing it, and I'm 11 weeks out, and like a lot, and like, I mean, I'm pretty lean. I'm not like, in my opinion, I'm not like stage lean enough, but for, you know, I have people a couple times a week coming up, be like, dude, like you're shredded. Like, when's your show? Like next week, 2 weeks. I'm like, I have like 3 months, you know, like, holy crap. Like, why are you so lean? So I'm like, this is what you have to do. Like, if you want to do well and you want to win and you want to look good, you have to start early and you have to be smart about it and retain as much muscle as you can and give yourself time for errors and plateaus. And so you don't need to go to like super extremes to like lose that last bit of fat. And you don't want to get on stage and be like, oh, I'm holding water. Like, no, you're not holding water. You have 7 to 10 more pounds of fat to lose. So yeah, that's that. But besides that, I'm competing in men's physique. For those of you who don't know, that's a division where you pretty much, you don't really hit poses like flexing, like biceps, and you don't show legs. You're in board shorts, so just like what you wear to the beach, and it's all about looking the beach body type deal, you know, pretty hair, pretty face, some symmetry between your muscles, small waist, wide shoulders, and you kind of just like hit poses that like emphasize that look, and you hit a front, side, back, side. So it's a lot different than like bodybuilding per se, or like classic physique, as far as you're not doing any flexing and showcasing your physique in that way. But at the end of the day, like the training and the dieting, everything is exactly the same. It's just a different division for people who fit into that a little bit better. You don't have to be too big. I mean, guys who are pretty small can win as long as they have good shape, symmetry, and they look the part for that division. So, I mean, for me, I think I could do okay in like bodybuilding show, but my hamstrings suck. My legs are okay, but my hamstrings are like terrible because I've never directly trained them. For me, I feel like when I analyze my own physique, I just see like, I feel like I fit in this category the best. Just like genetically good structure, good shape, decently small waist, and decently like good shoulders. So I feel like this is the best division for me to do well for now, and this is where I'm going to start. So yeah, that's pretty much just the couple things I want to talk about. This video went way too long, so I might make it a separate video and upload it because I'm 11 weeks out. I'm filming my 11 weeks out video. I wanted to put this in there, but it's been 15 minutes, so this might just be a whole separate video. But yeah, thanks for watching, and leave any comments, questions below, and I'll touch it on it next time.